Hello and welcome to the Toledo According To podcast. I'm Riley Runnells, assignment editor of the Toledo City paper, and I will be interviewing some of Toledo's most influential and impactful residents as they walk us through what Toledo means to them. Every episode will feature a new guest talking about their favorite Toledo attractions, businesses, restaurants, and experiences, with the hope of our audience learning more about the guest and finding more gems of Toledo. This episode, I am joined by Rita Mansour, a Toledoan who loves to boast it. Born and raised in Toledo, Rita is a certified private wealth advisor and senior managing director for Mansour Wealth Management. Named by Barron's Investment News magazine as one of the top 100 female advisors in the United States, Mansour advises clients in the U.S. and around the world. Fluent in 3 languages, her correspondent relationships allow her access to global markets and a vast client list. She is actively involved in many civic and philanthropic organizations and serves as a board member of the Toledo Museum of Art, Lourdes University, and the Advisory Council of the Sisters of Notre Dame. Rita is also involved with the Greater Toledo Community Foundation and the Arts Commission. Okay, I am here with Rita Mansour. Hi, Rita.
Hi, Riley.
Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. Our listeners are very excited to learn more about why you think Toledo is a great place to be. So first, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and kind of what you're involved with in the community and what you do occupationally, stuff like that.
Well, Riley, I am a lifelong Toledoan. I think a lot of us are. I'm very proud of that fact. It's something I tell people outside of Toledo. As an occupation, I'm a wealth manager. I've been in the financial services business for something like 34 years. And I am first generation American.
That's awesome. It's incredible. And I love when people who are from Toledo boast about Toledo and have a lot of great things to say. So first, one of the harder questions in the interview, tell me some of the places in Toledo that you're the most proud of.
Oh, wow. I'm proud of a lot of places. I mean, when you think about Toledo, we have a lot of great neighborhoods, old neighborhoods, new neighborhoods. I think my proudest part of Toledo is the downtown area. Obviously, we're sitting in my office overlooking the river. The river is really an underutilized asset, in my belief. The recent renaissance of downtown is something I'm really proud of, as well as a lot of the architecture of the buildings down here. A lot of them are older, and as people have been renovating them, it's been really fun to watch and experience.
Yeah.
I'm also proud of the metro parks. I'm proud of the museum. I'm proud of our university, so many institutions that we have. We have a great baseball field downtown, so many wonderful things for people to enjoy and convene.
Yeah, definitely. And it's good. There's a great mix of indoor and outdoor places for people to spend. And I'm curious, after your mention of the metro parks, what metro park is your favorite to visit?
Ooh, that's tough because I think it depends on what you want to do. Recently, the Glass City Metro Park has become one of my favorites. One is because I can see it every day, but also it's got a lot of things to engage the community with. Prior to that, I think it would have been Wildwood, probably because of the proximity to my home. Okay. But then there are parks like Farnsworth where you can go out and kayak and that sort of thing. So I think those are a couple of my favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you are a big foodie and love so many restaurants here in Toledo, so this might be one of the harder questions as well. But tell me what the best meal that you've had in Toledo was and where you had it.
Well, that would be at my mom and dad's house with my mom and her grape please.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I would say. But I think it just, really, I'm one of those people that you ask, what is your favorite? And I usually have like a basket of favorites because I don't like to necessarily select, and I think it is contingent on my mood.
Absolutely.
Like, if we went to dinner tonight, I'd say, well, what are you in the mood for?
Right.
So I would say some of my favorites are Beirut, Kengo. I love Toll House. It's very creative. Registry Bistro, Souk. Those are probably my top.
Yeah. absolutely. Yeah. And I think a lot of those restaurants and different food trucks and stuff like that are present at many of our events in the community.
Right.
And so tell me what event in the community that isn't necessarily an annual thing, but just something that happens occasionally would be your favorite to attend.
Actually, there are a couple. I love Momentum because I think it brings a lot of different people to downtown, and also a lot of different parts of the arts and culture of Toledo to the forefront. So I think that would be one of my favorites for sure. The museum now has the block party, which I think is like really cool. I wasn't able to attend this year, but they've done a tremendous job with that, and I think that's really quite neat. Those are probably my top ones.
Definitely.
I think.
And as far as annual festivals, we have a pretty good list of those here. So which do you find that you would attend more often?
I haven't attended a festival in a while. My favorite used to be the Greek festival.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The food and the dancing, it's
Right.
such a fun environment for sure.
Exactly.
So obviously you deal with a lot of different clients in wealth management. If you were going to take a potential new client somewhere to meet with them and kind of get the lay of the land with them, where would you take them?
I mean, there are a lot of different places I would consider. I mentioned Toll House earlier. That would be a place. Depending if they liked their bourbon, I would take them over to Toledo Spirits maybe. I love the Chop House for certain types of meals.
Right.
They also have very good food. I failed to mention them earlier. The museum, if you wanted to do a private lunch or dinner, is always tremendous, especially in the Glass Museum.
Yeah.
And I think those probably would be my top choices.
And in less of a professional capacity and more of a personal capacity, if you have friends or family from out of town coming to visit, where would you want to take them first?
Oh, that's a hard one, Riley. Again, I tend to be a downtown person because
Right.
I think we have a lot to show downtown. One thing that I did this summer with my parents is I took them out to Grand Rapids. I think it was Grand Rapids, to pick flowers. So we, cut flowers, fresh flowers, and that was just like a fun experience. And the people there were very, very nice, and they said that you could, come out there and cater a meal, and it just was really pretty.
Yeah, absolutely. And in your opinion, you have a lot of great things to say about Toledo, but is there anything that you think holds Toledo back from reaching its full potential?
I think it's everything. It's everything I've said, in my 50-some years. I'm not going to say exactly. But it's just sometimes the people of Toledo hold Toledo back. Yeah. And I think if you step back far enough and look at what we have, all the assets we have, the culture that we have, the people are just tremendous to each other. I think that sort of holds us back, that we have to be, a bigger city like a Chicago or a New York. Well, that's not who we are. We're a Midwest city. I think it's a great place to live. You can earn a really good living, and you can be up at the Detroit airport in 45 minutes. You can be to the Toledo airport in 15, 20. Right. And in the case of Detroit, you can be anywhere in the world in one flight. So I think we hold ourselves back in the way that we think, maybe.
Yeah, makes sense. And so there's a lot of local architecture that we can boast in Toledo. So old or new, it does not matter. What is one piece of local architecture that you are very proud of?
I love the Glass Museum. There's something about it that I love. But I also love the old architecture of many of the warehouse spaces downtown that have been renovated. I just think there's a vast amount of architecture in Toledo that's very, very interesting. And even though I've lived here all my life, as I'm driving through some of the downtown areas, I'm noticing buildings I've never noticed before. And it's probably because somebody's come in and renovated the one next door to it. So once again, I'm not a good what's your favorite, right? But those are a couple of mine.
The basket of favorites is always acceptable too.
Right. Oh, and one other one is the university.
Yeah.
It's really cool architecture, great campus.
And when you're in Toledo and you're looking for a little piece of serenity or calm, where do you find you go?
Home. I like my home.
Yeah. And what is the street that you drive on or walk on most often?
Probably Sylvania Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you find you do on Sylvania Avenue?
It connects me to most of my family, so I'm back and forth up and down Sylvania, going from mom and dad's to sisters to getting on the expressway to head downtown. So I would think it would definitely be Sylvania.
Absolutely. And can you tell us a memory or the best time that you've had in Toledo? Maybe some places that you went or just something that you did with friends or family, but just the best time that you had in Toledo.
I would say it would have to be during the downtown concert series.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to enjoy it with friends, family, clients. Just you get the food, the excitement of people outdoors, music. I would say that would probably be it. Other than when probably I was 7 years old and had a lemonade stand. That was kind of fun too.
I love that. Always in business mode since you were young.
Yep.
If you knew you could get away with it, what would you do?
If I could get away with it, well, hopefully it would be good enough that then people would say, oh, that was really cool. I'd paint on a building. But I'm not a good painter. So, I mean, I don't even have any artistic ability.
Well, so then you could have a wish and get away with something.
Right. And if it turned out okay, I'd admit to it.
Right. Exactly. So what would you say the best view in Toledo is?
Oh, see, there you go again. Again, I think my office view is probably the best view. You can see yourself. You can see the high-level bridge. You can see the mural over there. You can see the east side of Toledo. We can see what's going to be maybe International Park again, the Metro Park. We can see the businesses of downtown as you turn the other way. So I think it's right here at 1 Seagate.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a nice thing to have it right in your office, too, that you get to see it every day.
I got so lucky.
When you're away from Toledo, what is something that you cannot wait to have when you get back? It could be food, it could be a place to relax, just anything that you can't wait to get when you come back.
You know, there's just always a sense of coming home.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's that sense of, oh my gosh, I had so much fun doing this, or, oh, that was, really hard to do, those business meetings outside of Toledo. But just that feeling of coming home and just saying, ah.
Right. Absolutely. And you sit on many boards and you're involved in a lot of nonprofit organizations and things like that. So what is one nonprofit organization or a couple, since you have your basket of favorites, in Toledo that you admire?
Well, currently I sit on the board for the museum, and I think the museum is going through magnificent positive change, embracing neighborhoods and ensuring that the museum belongs to everyone. So I really like that. I also really admire the public art that we have in Toledo. So I think Mark Folk and the Arts Commission is doing a tremendous job with that. And they're also the sponsors of Momentum. And I just finished up with Lourdes, and that was fun. I sit on that board with many colleagues and friends, and it was a learning experience in higher ed. And then lastly, I would say Connect Toledo is something that I'm really enthusiastic about because it's all about, really pushing Toledo to be the best city that we can be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this next one is fill in the blank. So for a fun night out, I'm going to blank. And for brunch the next day, I'm going to blank.
So I would say the first one would be cook at home.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one would be souk.
Yeah. I feel like we get a lot of people talking about the souk brunch.
Yeah.
It's definitely one to boast, I think.
That's true.
Next, I'm curious, what is a local project that you are the most proud of? It doesn't necessarily have to be one that you've been involved with, but if it is one like that, that's totally all right too.
I would go back to Connect Toledo. It's not a project, it's projects, and it's encouraging businesses to come to Toledo, to renovate in Toledo, to innovate in Toledo. So I think that would be it.
Absolutely. So I know you're also very passionate about helping local youth in the area and then just helping kids in general. So can you tell me a little bit about what you are involved in to do projects like that and how you relate that to Toledo?
So in this case, I have a favorite, and that would be an organization that one of my sisters started called Hear Aid, and that helps people. Here in Toledo, it helps people that can't afford necessarily hearing services and hearing aids, and they provide those services, so clinical services as well as hearing aids to people that can't afford it, and then those people have to do some sort of community service in return. So I like that. But then we take it a step further and we do mission trips. In fact, I'm leaving on one this week to help children in refugee camps, and that sort of connects Toledo to where my parents are from, helping kids get out of refugee camps so that they can get educated and hopefully get out of generational poverty and lack of education.
Yeah, absolutely. What a beautiful cause, too. I mean, it's so incredible the work that Hear Aid does, not just here, but then also on your mission trips as well.
Thank you.
So, if Toledo had a new motto, what would it be?
You gotta live here.
I love it. I love it. Short, sweet, to the point. And who is a Toledoan that you most admire?
Well, I'm going to do like a he and a she. Is that all right?
Sure.
Okay.
Of course.
So for the she, I think it would be Chris Peterson, for sure. She has given so much of herself. I think I admire that. And yes, she's a friend, but she's a friend because of her character. She's got this wonderful character. She promotes Toledo, and she's not from Toledo. She does a lot of things for nothing to make sure that those that are in need are served. But she's also very successful in her own right, being a newscaster, a storyteller, and now a business owner.
Right.
On the he side, slightly younger, I would say it's Mark Folk. I think he's got great vision. He is someone that could be anywhere in this country doing what he's doing, but he chooses to be here, and for that I applaud him and I'm proud of him.
Absolutely. And for my last question, if you had a dream vision for Toledo, what would that dream vision be?
I think it would be that neighborhoods would be more walkable. I think it would be that our riverfront was more ignited. I think it's getting there, and I think it would be that people would come here and flock here and want to continue to come and enjoy what we have, but also maybe move here and create a better way of life for themselves.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you,
we're glad
Riley.
to know what makes Toledo special for you.
Thank you.
Rita's outlook on Toledo is truly that of a born and raised Toledoan with pride to spare. Thank you for listening to the Toledo According to podcast. Make sure to check out Toledo City Paper in print and online, as well as all of the publications under Adams Street Publishing, including Mature Living, Toledo Area Parent, Ann Arbor Family, Current, and Findlay Living. Find us on social media or connect with us if you have any story ideas to share.